Hi guys, welcome back again to Vanzee channel. What if you could play demanding PC games like GTA 5 or Resident Evil 2 right on your phone? The answer isn't a high-end flagship device, it's a mid-range powerhouse. This is the Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2, a chipset that has redefined mobile gaming. It's the engine behind incredible devices like the Poco F5 and Redmi Note 12 Turbo, proving that mid-range level performance can be more accessible than ever before. In this video, we're putting this chip to the ultimate test. We've compiled 65 of the most popular PC games, from intense shooters to vast open worlds, running on Winlator. This is a full-on demonstration of what's truly possible in the palm of your hand. One, Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain. Ready to infiltrate enemy territory with stunning graphics? This tactical espionage masterpiece from Konami runs smoothly on Winlator at 30 frames per second, powered by the Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. Sneaking suit ready, codec active. 2. The Sims 3. Want to create your dream virtual world? This beloved life simulation game runs like a charm with 40 to 60 frames per second on Winlator. Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 is ready to make your imagination a reality. 3. Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012. Pump up the adrenaline in this heart-pounding open-world racing game. Police chases are even more thrilling with 45 to 60 frames per second performance on Winlator. Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 will drive you to victory. 4. Metal Gear Solid 5. Ground Zeroes. Practice before diving into Phantom Pain? This stealth action game runs stably at 30 frames per second on Winlator. Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 ensures your every move goes undetected. 5. Red Dead Redemption 2. Ready to explore the vast and dangerous Wild West? Though performance is limited, 15 to 20 frames per second, this epic open-world action-adventure game is still playable on Winlator thanks to the Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. Saddle up and ride. 6. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Become an unstoppable cyborg ninja. This action hack and slash game runs satisfyingly at 35 frames per second on Winlator. Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 will fuel your adrenaline in every fight. 7. Hunter x Hunter. None Impact. Feel the power of none in this exciting fighting game. Battles are even more intense with 60 frames per second on Winlator. Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 is ready to test your skills. 8. Rise, Son of Rome. Become a valiant Roman hero. This action-adventure hack and slash game runs reasonably well at 20 to 30 frames per second on Winlator. Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 will take you to the battlefield. 9. Borderlands Gotti. Ready to loot and shoot endlessly? This looter-shooter game runs smoothly at 30 frames per second on Winlator. Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 is ready to accompany you on your quest for the best loot. 10. The Evil Within 2. Test your courage in this terrifying survival horror game. The tension is even more palpable with 20 to 30 frames per second performance on Winlator. Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 will send shivers down your spine. 11. Blasphemous. Prepare for brutal, pixel-perfect punishment. This dark and unforgiving Metroidvania runs surprisingly well at a solid 50 frames per second on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 handles the gruesome action with ease. Get ready to repent. 12. Devil May Cry 4. Special Edition. Style is everything. This over-the-top action hack-and-slash game delivers smooth performance between 35 to 50 frames per second on Winlator, depending on your settings. Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 lets you unleash your inner demon hunter. 13. Prince of Persia 2008. A forgotten gem. This visually stunning action-adventure title brings its acrobatic combat to Winlator with a steady 35 frames per second. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 helps you defy gravity and save the world. 14. PS 2017. Score big on the go. This classic sports game delivers a smooth 60 frames per second experience on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 lets you dominate the pitch anytime, anywhere. 15. Ultra Age slash your way through hordes of robotic enemies. This stylish action RPG performs admirably at 30 frames per second on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 keeps the futuristic action flowing. 16. Poppy's Playtime Chapter 4. Get ready for some seriously creepy playtime. This horror puzzle game provides a suspenseful experience at 30 to 40 frames per second on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 helps bring the nightmare to life. 17. Far Cry 2. Embrace the chaos of war-torn Africa. This open-world first-person shooter runs surprisingly well at 30 frames per second and up to 50 frames per second with tweaked settings on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 lets you survive in the harsh wilderness. 18. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Welcome to the family. This terrifying survival horror game delivers a frighteningly good experience at 30 to 50 frames per second, depending on settings, on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 helps you face your deepest fears. 19. Tekken 7. Get ready for the next battle. This iconic fighting game provides intense matchups at a smooth 30 to 60 frames per second on Winlator, depending on settings. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 lets you unleash devastating combos. 20. Tomb Raider 2013. Witness Lara Croft's origin story. This gritty action-adventure reboot runs well at 30 frames per second on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 helps you survive the treacherous island. 21. Blur. Unleash chaotic vehicular combat. This arcade racing title delivers adrenaline-pumping action at 40 to 50 frames per second on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 makes every race a chaotic explosion. 22. Assassin's Creed Revelations. Conclude Ezio's epic journey. This action-adventure game performs respectably at 30 frames per second on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 helps you climb, leap, and assassinate with precision. 23. Dead Rising 3. Slay hordes of the undead in a massive open world. This zombie survival horror game holds its own at 30 frames per second on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 empowers you to create outrageous weapons and fight for survival. 24. Outlast 2. Delve into a nightmarish cult. This first-person survival horror game provides a truly unsettling experience at 20 to 30 frames per second on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 amplifies the fear factor. 25. Resident Evil Revelations. Uncover the truth behind the T-Abyss virus. This survival horror game runs smoothly at 45 to 60 frames per second on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 empowers you to face bioorganic threats head-on. 26. Dark Souls 2. Prepare to die repeatedly. This notoriously challenging action RPG offers a demanding but playable experience at 25 to 30 frames per second on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 will test your skill and patience. 27. Castlevania. Lords of Shadow. Unleash your inner Belmont. This action-adventure title brings its gothic horror to Winlator with a respectable 35 to 40 frames per second. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 empowers you to vanquish the forces of darkness. 28. Rise of the Tomb Raider. Survive the Siberian Wilderness. This action-adventure sequel offers a visually stunning experience at 20 to 30 frames per second on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 helps you overcome treacherous environments and deadly enemies. 29. Grand Theft Auto 5. Dive into the criminal underworld of Los Santos. This iconic open-world action-adventure game provides a playable experience at 25 to 30 frames per second on Winlator, depending on your settings. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 lets you live the high life or a life of crime. 30. Devil May Cry 5. The ultimate demon-slaying showdown. This stylish action hack-and-slash game shines at a solid 30 frames per second on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 empowers you to unleash devastating combos and stylish moves. 31. MiSide. Explore this action-adventure world with dynamic performance. This game runs smoothly on Winlator, delivering 40 to 60 frames per second depending on your settings. Experience its beauty with the power of Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. 32. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Revisit Midgar like never before. This stunning action RPG offers a breathtaking experience at a steady 30 frames per second on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 lets you immerse yourself in this iconic world. 33. Assassin's Creed Rogue. Hunt assassins as a Templar. This action-adventure game performs admirably at 35 to 50 frames per second on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 helps you navigate treacherous waters and bring down your enemies. 34. Resident Evil 6. Face a global outbreak in this action horror spectacle. This game runs well at 35 to 45 frames per second on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 empowers you to survive the zombie apocalypse. 35. Resident Evil 2 Remake. Experience classic horror reborn. This terrifying survival horror game delivers a suspenseful experience at 25 to 30 frames per second on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 helps you face the horrors of Raccoon City. 36. Resident Evil 3 Remake. Escape the nemesis in this pulse-pounding survival horror game. This game provides a thrilling experience at 30 to 40 frames per second on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 will keep you on the edge of your seat. 37. Mad Max. Survive the Wasteland. This action-adventure game offers a visceral experience at 30 frames per second on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 lets you build your ultimate war machine and dominate the post-apocalyptic landscape. 38. Jump Force. Unite the greatest heroes from manga history. This action-packed fighting game performs respectably at 25 to 30 frames per second on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 lets you unleash devastating special moves. 39. Batman. Arkham Origins Blackgate. Take justice on the go with the Caped Crusader. This action-adventure game runs seamlessly at 60 frames per second on Winlator, showcasing the power of Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. 40. DMC. Devil May Cry. Unleash your inner demon with style. This action hack-and-slash game runs smoothly at 30 to 40 frames per second on Winlator. The Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 brings out the stylish and dark world of Devil May Cry. 41. Jujutsu Kaisen. Cursed Clash. Dive into the world of curses and jujutsu sorcerers. This action game performs with immersive energy at 30 to 40 frames per second on Winlator, supported by Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. 42. Spider-Man. Shattered Dimensions. Swing through different dimensions as Spider-Man. The action runs fluidly at 40 to 60 frames per second on Winlator, thanks to the Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2, offering dynamic gameplay across realities. 43. MotoGP 24. Race against the best in the world of motorcycle racing. This game operates with smooth precision at 30 to 40 frames per second on Winlator, supported by Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. 44. Gundam Breaker 4. Build and battle with your customized Gundam. This action game delivers at 30 to 40 frames per second on Winlator, powered by Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2, allowing for intense robot combat. 45. One Piece. World Seeker. Explore open-world adventures as Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates. This action RPG delivers satisfying gameplay at 30 frames per second on Winlator, supported by Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. 46. Ori and the Blind Forest. Journey through a visually stunning and emotionally resonant platformer. Experience the game at a seamless 40 to 60 frames per second on Winlator, enhanced by Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. 47. BioShock 2. Return to Rapture in this atmospheric first-person shooter. This game runs smoothly between 30 to 50 frames per second on Winlator, thanks to the Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2, bringing the underwater world to life. 48. Lies of P. Explore a dark and twisted Belle Epoque world. This action RPG runs effectively at 25 to 30 frames per second on Winlator, brought to life by Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. 49. Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice. Carve your own path to revenge. This action game can be enjoyed at 20 to 35 frames per second on Winlator, powered by Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2, offering a challenging but rewarding experience. 50. Battlefield. Bad Company 2. Engage in explosive warfare in this classic FPS. The performance is impressive, clocking between 60 to 90 frames per second on Winlator due to the Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 chipset. 51. Assassin's Creed Origins. Travel back to ancient Egypt and uncover the mysteries of the pharaohs. The game runs at 20 frames per second with very low settings on Winlator, showcasing the versatility of Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. 52. Watch Dogs. Hack your way through Chicago's digital landscape. This action-adventure game performs capably between 30 to 40 frames per second on Winlator thanks to the Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. 53. Grand Theft Auto 4. Navigate the gritty streets of Liberty City. Enjoy this classic open-world experience with a fluid 40 to 60 frames per second on Winlator, powered by the Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. 54. Far Cry 4. Explore the treacherous Himalayas and overthrow a tyrannical regime. This action-packed adventure runs smoothly between 25 to 30 frames per second on Winlator, thanks to the Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. 55. Days Gone. Brave the hordes of freakers in a post-apocalyptic Oregon. The game runs at 15 to 20 frames per second on Winlator, demonstrating the capabilities of the Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. 56. Stray. Unravel an urban mystery through the eyes of a cat. This unique adventure game runs smoothly at 30 frames per second on Winlator, powered by Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. 57. Max Payne 3. Dive into a dark and stylish noir thriller. The performance runs fluidly between 30 to 40 frames per second on Winlator, powered by Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. 58. Farming Simulator. Manage your own farm and experience rural life. This simulator runs between 15 to 20 frames per second on Winlator, showing what Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 can offer. 59. Street Fighter V. Champion Edition. Engage in electrifying battles with iconic fighters. This game runs at 40 frames per second on Winlator, powered by Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. 60. Middle-earth. Shadow of Mordor. Unleash the power of the Wraith and fight Sauron's forces. This title performs well at 30 frames per second and can go higher with adjustments on Winlator thanks to Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. 61. Digimon World. Next Order. Train and battle with your Digimon partners. This game runs impressively between 50 to 60 frames per second on Winlator thanks to Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. 62. Big Helmet Heroes. Jump into a cartoonish world full of challenging battles. This action game runs smoothly at 25 to 30 frames per second on Winlator, powered by Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. 63. Haste. Navigate intricate levels with speed and precision. This action title flows smoothly at 35 to 50 frames per second on Winlator thanks to Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. 64. Kane and Lynch. Dead Men. Experience the explosive partnership between two hardened criminals. Enjoy this title with 60 to 90 frames per second on Winlator enhanced by Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. 65. To conclude, we have Star Ocean, The Last Hope. This JRPG runs with a very smooth 60 frames per second on Winlator, bringing this epic space adventure to your mobile device with incredible fluidity. Alright, we've seen some truly amazing things today. It's incredible to have so many classic PC games running on a single device. Which game impressed you the most? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give a like and subscribe to Vanzee Gaming for more content. And if you're trying out Winlator yourself, share your own experiences. Thanks for tuning in, and happy gaming!